My name's Annie Bannerman and I'm from the School of Languages and Social Sciences at Aston University. And we've come to Hodge Hill Girls' School today. I brought 3 of our undergraduates with me and we're going to talk to girls here about the importance of learning languages, and we have a special programme called Languages for Life which we're going to introduce to them.
Et maintenant l'appel. Laura?
Si, Senora.
Nadia?
Si, Senora.
Since last year, we're in the same position as most schools in the country, in that quite a lot of students just did not choose languages.
Anam?
Si, Senora.
Diba?
Oui, madame.
Vanessa?
Oui, madame.
The one thing that you can do for students in Year 9 to motivate them to want to go on to do languages is for them to meet people who are using them in real life.
Hello. Hi. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hi.
From the workshop, I'm hoping to learn how taking a language would help me later on in life.
Today I'm hoping to learn how learning a language will help me get a better job.
Well, I had a debating between citizenship and language, but I still think today's experience will give me more advantages about taking languages.
At option time, I always say to the girls in Year 9, if you don't choose a language, you're cutting off your options.
After today, I want to know if I can communicate with people much better. I'm hoping to find in depth the uses of having a modified language.
Girls, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Annie Bannerman and 3 of her students from Aston University.
Thank you very much, Ms Daniels. My project is called Languages for Life, and it's about the reasons why people learn languages. Why? Why is it important that we have languages? That's perhaps one of the things we might think about first. Have we got some ideas on that subject?
I think languages are important because you can get better jobs with them.
And we had one more over there, I think.
I think it's good for communication abroad.
Actually, we don't only use languages when we go abroad, too. We often use other languages in this country, don't we, too? And what would be really interesting would be to just find out from you, if we could, how many other languages we actually know in this classroom today, because I think you might be quite surprised. And what other languages have we got here today? Yeah.
Urdu.
Great, good.
Bengali,
Bengali, excellent. And another one?
Punjabi.
So what other languages have we got?
Mirpuri.
Yes, Mirpuri, excellent.
I can speak a bit of Spanish too.
Oh, great. The other thing which you may not know about having 2 languages from early on in your life, did you know it makes your brains develop in a very special, extra special way early on?
We get really very good GCSE results, yet our students, very few of them, actually go on and do A-level. They tend to go for, it's the medical sciences or it's accountancy, and I wanted them, because they were so skilled at languages, to consider languages as an option.
When you're learning a language at school, you're not really knowing about what you can do afterwards or what you can, you don't think about that, you just think about learning.
You don't think about that until it's perhaps too late.
What jobs can we think of where languages are absolutely essential? What jobs can you not do without a language?
GP.
As pupils begin to think about ways in which languages could be useful for jobs, then they really get going and they can find all sorts of jobs and sorts of reasons why it would be really useful.
A social worker.
Great, well, I've had lots of ideas there, I'm really impressed. I brought these 3 students, Mel, Helen and Hannah. The workshop seemed to be a good way of provoking the interaction with the students. I think the idea of the undergraduates who are perhaps only 19 or 20 coming into schools and talking to pupils, they're close enough in age for there to be a real liaison, a real buzz, and they're much more persuasive than somebody like me can ever be.
I've just finished my 2nd year, so I do European Studies and French, and I'm just about to go off on placement.
The worst thing though is when you can't properly communicate with people.
Yeah.
So it kind of pushes you to want to do more languages. If when you travel you realise, oh, I'm not as good at German as I'd like to be, so I'd like to carry it on.
Tell us a little bit about what's involved in European Studies.
It's just a lot of everything, really. You do politics, history, economics, all sorts. Anything European, anything can be applied to anything European, you just learn it.
It was the exchange that pushed me, definitely. I was sitting in my room and I was thinking, if only I could just speak to a few more people and just get out there and say what I want to say. And then I came back and I was like, that was it, I have to do it. 2/3 of my A-levels were languages. I thought I might as well carry it on. I loved it so much by this point. A-levels it was amazing. And I just thought I'd carry it on, and I teamed it with translation. During my A-levels we did a bit of translation for the exams and stuff, and I thought, why not? Just went for it.
I'm going to go and live in Paris for a year. Not just having fun, obviously, but I'm going to go...
That's part of it, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I'm going to go and work for a market research company in Paris. So it's a French company. So I'm going to be speaking French all day at work and hopefully learn, a career at the same time.
As part of the workshop, pupils are encouraged to complete a questionnaire with the help of the Languages for Life website.
www.aston.ac.
As well as giving information about career opportunities for linguists, there are also profiles of language students. The team from Aston University work alongside the students.
If you look on the homepage, you may need to scroll down a little bit and you'll find a list of skills which are really important for jobs, for example.
Okay, so it's the benefits of learning languages. Can you click on that? There. Okay. So what work do most graduates do?
Banking.
Banking, yeah.
Education.
Education. So what you can see is like there's a huge list there, aren't there? And they're not all like teaching or interpreting.
It's the parts where you can see what people have studied and what they've done, like their profiles.
Yeah.
And
So
see how much
what's this
A-levels.
one?
This is Neil. It's like what he studies and how he found it.
Yeah.
So how many languages can you both speak?
I can speak about 5.
About 5? Wow, that is really good. What about you? About 4?
So what's the first thing that you've learned?
That there's less people that speak.
Yeah, there's a lot fewer than you'd think, isn't there?
Yeah.
Write that down.
The Languages for Life initiative has informed the development of other language resource material.
I've talked to a number of officers from different universities, some of whom have picked up on the idea, and also SILT has now set up a website of its own called Languages Work.
The work that Aston University does in the Languages for Life initiative is fantastic. It actually informed us very much when we were developing our Languages Work resource material. Our Languages Work resource pack gives information to both teachers and pupils about all the career options there are when you are learning a language.
What made you choose languages?
When I went to France on the exchange in Year 9, I kind of went because I'd never been to France before, but to be out there and to be living the culture and it was the weather, and I had such an amazing time. I felt devastated that I couldn't actually speak to more people, so I was like, I'm going to carry this on a bit further, and I spoke to my teachers about it and I did it to GCSE.
As you're going to Paris for a year, what interests you and why?
Well, it interests me because it's like such a complete experience in Paris. It's so, food and culture and people.
What kind of jobs do you reckon you'd be interested in doing with the language? Interpretation, yeah. I mean, you've got to be really quick-minded. You've got to be like this and thinking all the time.
If I was to carry on with French, I'd probably like do something to do French, teaching young people French.
Yeah. Can you see how it might be useful for being a doctor?
Some people don't speak English.
Yeah. Has any of you got members of your families that don't speak very good English, that need somebody to take them to the doctor? Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? So you can see how useful that'll be.
Before I came here today, what were your impressions of languages?
A bit difficult, but they were okay.
Do you think the languages are hard to learn then?
In a way, yeah, but sometimes I find it really interesting and it'll be really useful to have, so I don't know.
We are about to start teaching in Key Stage 4, one group studying the Certificate for Business Language Competence. A lot of students could see that if they were studying business studies, it might be dovetailing very nicely with doing a business-orientated language course. They didn't want to give up their language, but they wanted something which was slightly more practical.
As the head of careers, I've been inundated with requests for information about careers using languages, which is fantastic. And I've put together a booklet for students and parents about careers in languages, because there's a very narrow perception of what careers in languages actually mean. A lot of people just think it's translating and interpreting. And in fact, there's such a myriad of opportunities, in the armed forces, in education, in working in Europe, in business, in finance, in police. There's just so many opportunities that we want our students to think about.
It's time to find out what the pupils have learnt from exploring the website.
Or have you learnt something new? What have people written down? Yeah?
More varieties of jobs if you take languages.
And it's quite a surprise, isn't it, how many different jobs actually you get a benefit if you've got another language. Yes?
There's a large variety of skills you can develop, like, for example, like communication skills.
And really, I think that's one of the most important things in life, isn't it, to be able to communicate.
Well, I've been very, very pleased to have you and your students with us today, and I'm sure the girls want to show their appreciation in the usual way.
I think the workshop today has a value for the students as well, because a few of them said to us earlier how they'd like to take a language for their GCSE options.
And some of the girls are saying, you've really motivated me, I've learnt so much, and that's really nice to hear them say that, and definitely there's always a value.
Enjoyed it?
Yes,
Yeah?
I think so. I think the students really responded to it.
Certainly our undergraduates had a good time, and they were really enjoying, talking to your pupils. It seemed to go really well.
The thing that they enjoy most is seeing real people, almost their own age really, talking about studying languages, enjoying it, being abroad and having a great time. So, that was the perfect thing for them, I think.
Good. And the profiles they enjoyed, didn't they?
Oh, they
Particularly on
loved
the
the profiles, searching around, finding out who was doing what.
Yeah.
And they searched the boys, not just the girls.
Good.
And they were fascinated by the fact that, not all of them were studying just languages. They were studying languages and other things, which was something new for them, because they thought, you go to university, you study one subject, and they're suddenly discovering that you can study languages and another subject, or another subject and languages.
That's a really good way of getting people to continue with languages when they see that they haven't got to give everything else up.
That's
I
right.
really look forward to hearing the feedback when you send me the comments that you get.
I'm sure they're going to be very positive.
I would fully endorse the Language for Life workshops. They've been absolutely fantastic. And having undergraduates studying languages in the classroom with our students has been such a powerful symbol for them.
Until today, I wasn't really taking a language any thought, but after today's workshop, I'm definitely considering it.
Because of today, I'm really going to consider taking a language because it opens so many opportunities for the world of work.
One of the really huge benefits of learning another language is that with it comes a greater understanding of a culture other than your own.
You're saying to a prospective college or a prospective employer, I'm something special.
Before today's workshop, I didn't really want to take a language, but after today, I'm definitely considering it.
After today's workshop, I am determined to take a language because I found out that it's really interesting.
I think it's really just captured something amongst students' imagination, actually working with these students. And a lot have told me now that they are going to consider, in the future, looking at languages as a future possible career option.